Good morning and welcome to Mornings on Main Street for this Wednesday, April 5th. I'm your host, Stefanie Miller. This morning, we're going to have some great tips on healthy lunches for your kids. We're also talking about why herbs from a homegrown herb garden could be the best for your dishes at home. And lastly, this morning, we are going to revisit an interview with Nashville Foster Love Closet just because Easter is right around the corner and they're doing something special. But first, let's get a check of the headlines. This week, the bill called Enhanced School Safety was announced to strengthen safety in public and private schools. Now, this legislation will create an accountability plan to make sure exterior doors are locked when students are present. It will require private security guards at Tennessee schools to receive active shooter training. You can read more on what school districts will be required to do and the amount Governor Lee proposes for school safety in his budget by going to mainstreetnashville.com. And the fourth annual Vietnam Veterans Celebration to honor victims of Agent Orange during the Vietnam War was recently held at Springfield Memorial Gardens. Now, the event is hosted by the Orange Heart Medal Foundation, which recognizes Phase 2 dedication of the Orange Heart Memorial, which was initially unveiled in 2020. Now, the Orange Heart Medal Foundation's mission, well, it is the purpose to bring recognition for veterans who served in the Vietnam War, who were affected by exposure to Agent Orange and herbicide and defoliant chemicals. Now, read more about this beautiful event by visiting robertsoncountyconnection.com. And be sure to head over to the hendersonvillestandard.com to get a look at the darling pictures from Sunday's 12th annual Wonderland celebration held at historic Rock Castle. More than 1,000 kids enjoyed hunting over 60,000 eggs. They listened to music and they got creative with crafts. Not only does it sound like fun, but it looks like they had a blast. Now let's get a check of the forecast with our friends from Tennessee Valley Weather.
Hey folks, Ben Luna here with you in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center, wishing you a happy hump day. It is Wednesday, but it's also going to wind up being a row your boat kind of day around the mid-state region. Here's a look at satellite and radar over the past 24 hours. Big old storm system back out to the west that's going to be inching its way into our neck of the woods as today progresses. Starting out, clouds, maybe a spotty shower in a few locations across the overall region, and actually some breaks of sunshine as well. Kind of an eclectic weather start, at least for today. By this afternoon, along the Mississippi River, we'll start to see a few showers and thunderstorms develop, and then later into this evening, say between 6 and 11 across areas west of I-65, a line of storms will kind of gear up and work its way through the area. Now, some of these storms will be trending on the stronger side, producing mostly gusty wind activity and locally heavy rainfall, which could lead to some flash flooding. As far as a widespread tornado threat like we had last week, not seeing that with this system, but again, it's going to be windy and wet to say the least. Now, this rainfall continues to work across the region through the overnight hours, spilling over into Thursday morning. So at least for quite a while through, say, around morning rush tomorrow, still going to be pretty wet across the area. So be careful as you start the day tomorrow. The good news, a lot of this rainfall will gradually end by tomorrow evening, but it's still going to be one soggy day across the area. We could, in fact, pick up an inch to around 2 inches of rain, depending on your location and the overall track of this system before it's all said and done with. Here's a look at the next 7 days from the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. And again, showers and thunderstorms today, beginning this evening through tomorrow. We'll finally clear that out. We'll have some moisture that will lift back up over the area, mainly south of I-40, but we'll put in the chance for a few spotty showers Friday and Saturday, and then Easter Sunday into next week. We do dry out, become fairly seasonable with temperatures, with highs in the 70s, overnight lows near 50. That's a look at your forecast. Thank you for stopping by. Make it a great Wednesday, and we'll talk to you soon.
Welcome to the Omni Nashville Hotel. Urban elegance with a vintage touch. Our 800-room hotel opened up in the fall of 2013 with 746 guest rooms and 54 suites.
Welcome back to Mornings on Main Street. Not too long ago, we introduced you to the ladies behind Hi, My Name is Mom. Once again, we are joined by Corey, Jen, and Kayla. Ladies, thank you once again for all the time that you're giving us, because we have a fun topic today. We're talking food, health for your kids, ways you can make healthy snacks to get out the door. How do you do that, ladies?
Oh, I love this topic. I think nourishment for mind, belly, and heart is so important. But I think there's so much that we can do on the nourishment side of keeping our kids with nutrient-packed, like dense snacks, like when they get out the go. I'm a huge fan of smoothies. We do smoothies and shakes like every day. And it kind of gives me a little bit of confidence knowing that whatever they eat the rest of the day, I know they had their vitamins, I know they had their protein. And so we do Orgain, like they're all plant-based protein powder. We do that with fresh fruits. And then I like to take veggie capsules and put them in with the shakes. And so they have my daughter has a full nutrient-packed shake every single morning. That way, whatever else she has, I know she has a protein. I know she's got her veggies in herself. That's one of my favorite go-to things. I'm also a huge fan of putting as many vegetables into yummy treats as possible. We do broccoli tots at our house, and that's like a super fun. You can put them in a little snack thing to go. But we use broccoli and sweet potatoes and spinach and grind it all up with some cheddar cheese, pop them in the oven in little dollops for about 15 minutes, and they're great, crunchy little snacks to take on the go.
That's making me hungry.
That's fantastic. That sounds so good. Well, what about when your kids go to a friend's house? Like, how do you, teach them to eat healthy or make healthy choices?
About 7 or 8 years ago, I started a sort of kid-based food blog called Think Outside the Lunchbox. And that was really my brand for a long time, was helping to create balanced lunches that kids were interested in. And my whole thing in my entire life, I live everything sort of in the gray. Parenting, politics, religion, food, exercise, everything for me is not in an extreme. And food is no different. My kids are going to get artificial colors, are going to get preservatives. They're going to get it. Hopefully they get it more in less quantities at my house, right, and they can have it when they're at other people's houses. I don't try and manage what they're getting when they're, at a play date or when they're, somewhere after school, whatever. But I feel like if you give them a good balance in early years, they'll get it. I have 2 kids who love salad and request salad daily. And I have 2 kids who can't stand it. So I did something wrong with them, and I'm still not sure what it is, but we're getting there.
You're really good with the outside the lunchbox of making your snacks really pretty. So you make healthy foods look really cute and pretty.
For little kids, it has to be. It has to be fun, and whether that's taking carrots and using a crinkle cut, cookie cutter to just make them, look like ribbons and they'll eat them, or take a cucumber and slice. I buy these little tiny cookie cutter, tiny microscopic cookie cutter, and I can cut a heart out of the middle. And people are like, oh, there's so much waste there because, what do you do? And it's well, the little heart's fun to eat, but so is the little circle that has a heart cut out of the middle. And so it's sort of teaching kids, it's teaching kids that food can be fun, and it's a cool lesson because food's awesome and food is life. And when you become adults, food is social. So yeah.
Very true. Okay. What about school lunch versus packed lunch? What do you do?
Okay. Well, I am a little bit different than these two. I am a huge health nut, but I don't enjoy cooking the way that they do.
Okay.
So I am really big on my kids eating healthy, but I also embrace that there are a ton of great healthy choices that are kind of pre-made now. So if I'm having a really crazy week, then I'll get the little organic lunch kits. That's kind of like a healthy version of a Lunchable. Or I'll grab, pre-cut fruit because that makes it easier to create our own little lunch boxes. I think we all are big on bento boxes that have little compartments. And my kids are not adventurous eaters, but sometimes if I deconstruct things, they'll eat them. So if I just put tacos in front of them, they're going to be like, whoa, Mom, let's not get crazy. But if they get to build their own, if they get a little lunch that has, some organic ground turkey and some shredded cheese and some Greek yogurt, which is what I sub in for sour cream. And then they have some chips and they can load up their little scooped chips. they love that, and they love dipping
It becomes
things.
interactive.
So
too.
if you can give them something to dip, I take Van's waffles. Again, so I'm not making a waffle. I'm putting one in the toaster oven.
Yeah.
But it's still healthy. I do their protein waffles, and then I cut it into slices so that then they can dip them in their maple syrup, and they think that's fun. So I am much bigger on what's going to be healthy, but also convenient, because that's just how I roll, and I don't always have the time. When I had my first, I was like, you will eat sprouted grain bread with raw almond butter, and the only jelly you're going to have will be smushed strawberry. And now I'm like, you know what? Today we're doing Uncrustables.
We're good.
We're doing Uncrustables.
Your
today.
husband is an Uncrustables fan, and he did get my kids hooked on Uncrustables when we were at the beach. So now we're all Uncrustables.
But you can, kids love a boiled egg.
They do.
With some sea salt. Kids really, they love something they can hold in their hand that they can dip. For really little kids, they love to even just play in their food. It's a sensory experience.
They also
So I
love
think-
what they see other kids eat.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing, is like feeding kids around other kids that are making also healthy choices.
Yeah.
Eventually kids start going,
I think your biggest friend as parents is finding brands that align with your values, like with how you feed your family, and finding companies that you can trust what ingredients that they put in their foods. And that way you don't have to, every time you go to the store, read every single label.
Yep.
You know, okay, this brand I love. Annie's, we love in our house. You know,
Yeah.
like if you kind of find Maverick cookies,
I'm
there's
that
a
way with
huge
Kodiak.
one.
Like I'm not a big
Kodiak
empty
cakes are great.
carbs fan, but if
Earth's
you have
Best.
protein in it,
They
Yeah.
make these like
Earth's
organic chicken nuggets made with
Yes.
breast meat. And so if you cut, we're lucky to have that now.
I
I don't
know.
think that was the case
No, it
10,
wasn't.
15
So
years ago.
finding brands is like your best friend that you can like trust and just buy, and you know it's going to be yummy.
I love it. So, hi, my name is Mom. This is probably the lightest topic they touch on.
Yeah.
If you look up either their podcast or now they're on YouTube.
Although you mentioned food dyes, that's a hard no in my house.
We've gotten into some almost
You wanna talk
fights over food
controversial?
dyes.
The food days, which is going to be a topic I'm sure you will find on one of their shows. Again, you have Corey, Jen, and Kayla, and they cover a variety of topics. They are uncensored. So if you're interested and want to find a comfortable space to listen and to watch and even engage, hi, my name is Mom. And I'm just feel so lucky to be able to share some of this with you. We are going to sit down with them once more, so you'll get to check them out here on Mornings on Main Street in a couple of weeks. But for right now, stick right here. We have more coming up after this.
Hockey in Music City just hits different. It's one big honky-tonk party. It's the sea of gold in the crowd, the goals, the saves, the celebrations. It's an experience like no other. Experience Predators hockey all season long. Visit NashvillePredators.com/season tickets and join the Loyal Legion today. That's NashvillePredators.com/tickets, and we'll see you at Bridgestone Arena.
Welcome in, everybody. It's time for Devon's Table. I'm Devon O'Day.
I'm Sylvia Ganier.
And, ooh, I love the smell of rosemary in the morning. Oh, that smells so good. Makes me
Yes.
think of focaccia bread and dipped
Yes.
in olive oil. All the good stuff. And there's basil and there's stuff. I don't even know what all of this is. But, Sylvia, you're going to tell us.
We're going to talk a little bit about some different plants because we're talking about when to plant. And the different plants should go in at different times.
Okay.
Don't be confused just when the weatherman says the high or the low is going to be a particular temperature, because it's not just the air, it's the soil temperature.
Right.
And everybody wants to get ahead. And I bet you have somebody in your family that is like the radar of when to plant and not to plant.
Mama Pat, she will tell you, she has her mental barometer. It's like, nope, not yet. Nope, not yet. There's all the things. The pecan trees don't lie. That if you're in Louisiana and the pecan trees are blooming out, they won't lie. Now, forsythia will lie to you.
Some of those plants are just that way. Don't trust them.
Don't trust them. They will bloom out and get burned. But a pecan tree won't. But Mama Pat won't lead you wrong either. She kept telling me I had some new herbs. I had some basil plants and some stuff. She goes, don't put them in the ground yet.
And she's right.
She was.
So your more hardy things you could put in as long as you think you're over the worst part of the winter. Right now, we're going to get another, maybe it's dogwood, maybe it's blackberry, maybe it's pick one. It's whatever winter we're going to be going through right now. It is not ragweed winter, I'll tell you that right now.
It is not ragweed winter,
And
no.
so for rosemary, this particular variety, this is good to about 15 degrees. So I would feel comfortable putting this rosemary out somewhere where it wasn't going to just, not have the wind whipping through it all the time. So I could put my rosemary in.
Rosemary likes a lot of sun, doesn't it?
It loves sun. It doesn't like to have wet feet, meaning sitting in water. So like we were talking potatoes in the bucket, you want to make sure you have good drainage in the bottom for this. You could also do some sedum. Now the sedum can die back.
Okay.
What I love about sedum is it can die back a little bit, but it will bounce back. If you forget to water it, it'll bounce back. You overwater it, it'll be happy. You say bad things to it, it'll still be happy.
I love it. Is this a ground cover?
This is a ground cover, but it looks really pretty, and it can have little tiny blossoms on it. So some of the sedum can actually bloom as well.
Nice.
So I love ground cover. You could go ahead and put this guy in because it is also a tender perennial. These are perennials, meaning you don't have to plant them. They come back every year. Perennially, they come back.
Love that.
And then you have annuals, and annuals are usually the ones that you don't put out when it is still too cold. You can start your tomato plants like we did if you have indoor greenhouse, something like a really nice windowsill, one of those little arrow garden things. We started these maybe 3 weeks ago in the greenhouse. This baby is staying in the greenhouse or a hoop house for quite a little bit more time because it's going to be below 55 degrees in air and soil temperature. The same thing for the basil. So this has to wait. If I get too anxious and I need to snip a little bit to use in a recipe, I can start clipping it a little bit at a time before I put it out, but it is not time to put it out if I really want Martha Washington right here. That's the variety.
Yeah.
If Miss Martha is going to survive, she needs to stay in and stay a little bit warmer.
Yes. Now, who's this?
And so this, I just couldn't resist showing fresh bay leaf.
Oh.
And so, you see these bay leaves that you get in the perpetual, way too large for the home cooked keep for, just one season, right? So I love to use fresh bay. It is a game changer when you're cooking.
Oh, wow.
And even when you do this and then you smell your hand, you can smell the bay on your hand. It's amazing.
Wow.
And you just start taking some of the larger leaves off here and there as you need them. This has to stay inside in the winter. So it's a container plant unless you want to dig it up and bring it in. This is along with these guys. You put these three out at the same time and these two over here. Division of church and state to make sure you're not going to frostbite these or freeze them out. These can handle a little bit more cold temperature.
I love it. Now, I have seen people keep some basil inside and keep rosemary inside as almost a decorative plant that they cook with. And you can do that, right?
If you've got really good light in your kitchen. If your kitchen is dark, they're not going to make it.
Okay.
The other thing to think about, you see in the grocery store, we all have bought bazillions of the little herbs that come in pots that look kind of like this, and you bring them home. They have a little plastic sleeve on them, and they make it for a day, maybe 2 days, 3 days at home. You're like, what did I do? I killed my plant. Well, you didn't really kill the plant because those are grown in very controlled environments. And when you take them out of that environment and they're not getting the exact amount of water that is pre-measured through the mister twice a day at exactly the same time, the right amount of light, it's not what you're doing. The plant just has a different environment than what it's used to and it doesn't like it. So don't feel bad. Go ahead, when you buy those herbs at the grocery store, go ahead and use them. Pretend you spent the $2 not just on a living plant, but like the little package you get where you don't see the plant attached. Just pretend like it's one of those because you're not going to have as much success with those.
See, I was blaming myself all these years.
It's not your fault, Devon.
There's a lot to consider when it comes to choosing a Medicare plan. That's where Health Markets Insurance Agency can help. Independent licensed insurance agents who work with Health Markets can answer your questions about the different parts of Medicare when you can enroll, benefits, costs, and more. Speak to a local licensed insurance agent today to get started on your Medicare journey.
Welcome back. This morning, we get to learn more about a nonprofit organization in Nashville, Tennessee called Nashville Foster Love Closet. It's a beautiful thing that this group is doing. They're helping those families that are getting current placements of fosters. And to share more with us, not only about the nonprofit organization, we have founder and president Kara Puckett with us, but she's also going to share with us an upcoming event. But first off, Kara, good morning to you, and thanks so much for your time.
Hi, yeah, thank you for having me on.
You're welcome. Okay, so first off, tell us, what is Nashville Foster Love Closet?
We are a nonprofit organization that helps serve foster families or foster children that are, children involved in the foster care system. So this can also include kinship and adoptive children as well. And we help provide them with resources and material goods.
And it was you and your husband that started this. Am I correct in saying that? And now you have a board. But I guess for you and your husband, where does that love and passion come from? Because this isn't just something, unless you have some sort of role in this already, I don't see someone doing this. So where does that come from for you guys?
Yeah, so we were becoming foster parents ourselves and saw that there was a lack of this support in our area. And we just wanted to do something more to be able to help, because we're in the trenches with these foster parents. We have a placement in our home, and we know what it's like. And so just seeing that there was such a need for it, we wanted to do what we could to help.
Okay, so what's it like being a foster parent?
It's it's stressful, to say the least. It's a lot, and it's not something that you should consider lightly. But it has been a really amazing experience as well, to be able to love and help, these children that so desperately need it.
For you and your husband, how many fosters have you guys taken in?
We've had 2 placements, and then we've had some other what's called respite placements. So it's, if there's a child that their foster parents might be going out of town or something and can't bring the kids with them, or, might have something going on. It's basically like babysitting for another foster parent, but keeping them within a foster home is kind of how I like to explain it to people, but it's called respite.
Respite. Okay. And for the foster parents, for you guys, the community of foster parents, are you able to kind of come together and talk about either the hardships and of course the joys as well? But is there a community there so you're not just kind of on your own?
Yeah, absolutely. I have found it really helpful. I'm in some different foster parent support groups online, and there's several specifically in Tennessee and, different counties and areas. So it's really nice to be a part of those groups, and they're private groups. So we as foster parents can go and vent if we need to. Or my favorite is when people do make those posts like, what are your joys this week? What is something really great that has happened recently with your placements in your home?
Well, and I love that the joy is being shared. And I love that's something that you kind of, really put focus on, because those hardships are going to come, but those joys can really uplift the spirits. And speaking of a joyful time, you have a fun Easter event coming up, which I think is totally cool. What do you have?
Yeah, so we have the Egg My Yard fundraiser. This was an idea that was brought on by our vice president, Brittany, and she's a foster mom as well. She's super awesome, but she had done this type of thing previously with, I think, her Girl Scouts when her kids were younger. And what it is we are what's called egging people's yards. And we have pre-filled Easter eggs that people can sign up to have volunteers will come and place them in their yard the night before Easter. 100% of the profits goes back into our organization because we are completely volunteer run, including myself. And the rest of our, our members, we're all volunteers. So it's really great that, as our first fundraiser, we're able to, spread this in a fun way and, raise funds to go back into our organization so we can start doing more things.
How cool is that? How fun is that? And for those of us who would either like to, I don't know, contribute to the upcoming fundraiser that you have, or just to you guys as a whole, how can we do that?
Yeah, so you can, on our website, which you have shown there, there is a donate tab where you can donate via Venmo or PayPal.
So hopefully more people will continue to donate to this. Now, on the other side, for those who are maybe looking to be fosters, or they want some just information about the work that you do, can they go to the same website and get information or connect with you?
Yeah, absolutely. And I love talking to people about that kind of stuff. When they say, I'm interested in becoming a foster parent, what's it like? And I love being able to, talk through that with people. And we always say, not everybody can be a foster parent, but everybody can do something to help.
For those, because you shared kind of like the group that you guys have as foster parents, and only you will know what the kids say. What do you hear from your fosters? Like, what is, I don't know, what do you hear from them on, the daily basis or every now and again? What is that feeling you get from those that you're fostering?
Yeah, so it's I'm not gonna lie, it's not always, rainbows and like I love yous and everything like that. We, have some really hard days, and I hear it from all foster parents, especially being a part of those groups. You hear that kids have really rough days, and they don't owe us gratitude, and a lot of them are appreciative, but at the same time, they've been taken and from their biological families, and they've been through really traumatic things. Just some of the stories that I've heard, it's heart-wrenching hearing what some of the kids have been through. But a lot of the times the kids do have appreciation for, us or their foster parents. And but at the same time, they have hard days too. And it's completely understandable that they do.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for doing what you do, for being a foster, for providing what you provide here through the Nashville Foster Love Closet. God bless you. And thank you guys very much. And I can't wait to check with you in the future to see the success of this event and to share upcoming events. So, Kara, thanks so much. Is there anything I haven't asked you that you would want to share or feel like people need to know either about fosters or your organization?
Everybody can do something to help, even if it's not monetary donations. We always need volunteers to help sort donations and, make meals for families. We, give meals to families that volunteers make. And our birthday love program, we have bakers that make birthday cakes. So there's all kinds of ways that you can get involved, whether it's giving of something or just giving of your time.
Love it. Kara, thank you so much for your time this morning. We appreciate it. And thank you for letting us highlight what you're doing.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us on.
Well, I sure hope you liked what we had for you today. Please be sure to share our content from Mornings on Main Street on your social media pages. Also, remember, you can download our app, Main Street Media TV Mobile, and you can get all of our shows and information right on your phone. Again, thanks so much for joining us. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.